gonna drop back and he heaves it up like Kate Upton's huge movie.
Yo, 5 points here, and oh yeah, this clip is bringing back memories. The Madden ambulance. How many people remember this? Oh yeah, get out of my way. Ugh. Alright, so today I'm gonna do a gameplay. I'm running with the Giants again. My opponent is the Texans, but I'm not gonna talk about the game at all, really. There are a couple key plays in it that are great, but I want to talk about your first Madden experience. The first time you ever saw the game, the first time you ever played it. Right there. On the first play of the game, I get an interception, so I know that this game is going to go pretty well for me. So this game, I haven't posted a butt whip in a while of the opponent, so I just wanted to throw this up here as my background. So for me, with Madden, the first time I saw it, I was 14. I was a sophomore in high school. And for those of you that are bad at Madden, you can figure out how old I am. I'm 36 years old. And that's making me feel more pathetic that I'm narrating on the Madden video. But I was 14, I was a sophomore in high school, and I was on the tennis team. I was living in Panama, and you can do what you want with that information, but in 1991, if you didn't play tennis, you were not cool. If you didn't have the Pete Sampras or Andre Agassi shoes, everybody played tennis back then. So I was on the varsity tennis team in Panama, and you were just the coolest dude ever. So there was this guy on the team named Earl, and he had the actual Andre Agassi haircut. He had black curly hair, he had the full-on mullet going, wore a headband, and we were riding the bus out to the Atlantic side of Panama. There's two sides of the isthmus. I'm giving you way too many details. Anyway, we're riding out to the other side, and he pulls out from his backpack a little black cartridge with a yellow strip on it. And I'm like, what is that? And he's like, oh dude, this is the baddest football game ever. And he's like, you will not believe how awesome this game is. And before that point, before I'd ever seen Madden, the only games, and here I convert on a really long fourth down, but the only football games I'd ever seen are what? Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, and oh, look at this pass. Hold on, let me break this down, this pass. Right here, in between 5 Texans, Hakeem Nicks gets the ball. Way to thread that needle right there. So anyways, before I'd seen Madden, it was Tecmo Bowl, Super Tecmo Bowl, and Sega Genesis had a version of Joe Montana football, which I think was licensed by the NFL, but nobody had ever come out with a game that was as comprehensive a simulator as Madden. And when Earl brought that out, he was like, dude, this is the game, man. First of all, Earl was like 19 years old. He was a college student. The way Panama worked was, in sports leagues, there weren't enough kids to really put together a league because there's only 800, 900 students total in the military system there. So, college kids played with high school kids. So Earl was already the coolest kid on the tennis team already. So the fact that he's going to have now an awesome video game, and we're all going to hang out at his house and play, a 2-player sports game on his Sega Genesis, which nobody had at the time. Because in Panama you couldn't get video, there wasn't a GameStop or a Barnes & Noble or any of that stuff in 1991 in Panama. There was like the toy shop on base, and you just got, cruddy hula hoops and skateboards, and you were just bored on base. And so if you had a connection in the States, and here's another threaded pass right here. Look at that, 4 Houston Texans. I was just throwing dots with Eli Manning this whole game. So if you had a connection to the States, you could get good games, or you could get good things, but it was kind of like a black market. So we would go over and play every afternoon at Earl's house right before practice. And, like I said before, it was kind of like the black market getting American goods in Panama. So I had to wait almost 7 months until my mom actually got a job in the States, and she was like, F this, I'm out of Panama. And I convinced my dad to buy me a Sega Genesis because I was like, Mom's making money now, and I'm gonna be bored, so he buys me a Sega Genesis, and the first game that I want for it is NHL hockey and Madden 92. And Madden 92 was the greatest because it was the year after, was it 91 or 92? Oh, here I make a horrible mistake. It was the year after the Giants won the Super Bowl, and that was the first time as a teenager, you know, as a very memorable playoff run for me when the Giants won that first Super Bowl and the Gulf War was happening as well. So as a military family, you know, there's a lot of memories associated with that. You know, your friends' dads are getting deployed to Desert Storm. I remember one day in Panama, all the vehicles were green in jungle colors, and then the next day after Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait, all the vehicles were tan, like they were desert ready. So, and Panama was used as a shipping port for a lot of the vehicles out to the Gulf. But back to Madden anyways. So I got Madden 92 and I didn't have any expectations. You know, down there in Panama, you can't really get a hold of any magazines, or, you know, everything was like 3 months behind. You know, if you got a magazine, it would had already come out. So there were no real online reviews. It's not like today where you can just Google stuff. You know, this is 1991. You know, people weren't even using pagers then. And if you still use a pager today, yeah. So anyways, finally I get this copy of Madden and I'm playing it. I had no idea that, you know, there was an ambulance in it that was gonna run over people. And so I'm playing, and the first time it happens, like Phil Simms like throws a pass and he gets injured, and this ambulance just comes bucking out of the screen, knocking people over, busting them out of the way, and you hear that old Genesis like just dudes getting knocked out of the way. And I thought that was the funniest thing. You know, as a 14-year-old kid, I'd never laughed so hard at it. There's another sweet pass among 4 defenders. Like, look at that. Count them, 4 defenders. Look at that dot right there. So anyway, so I'm playing and I'm just laughing, and what I used to do with that game, it's like, you want to talk about glitches, you know, there's glitches in Madden 13. There's been glitches in every version of Madden since the beginning. But the glitches in that game, you know, I believe, who's the running back? Thurman Thomas for the Bills was such a glitch. And you could play the all Madden teams, and what I would do is I would take the all Madden team and play them against Cleveland and just see how many points I could score. And every pitch to Martin, either up the gut, or Thurman Thomas up the gut, to the right, to the left, was like 90 yards. Like, I would intentionally run the kickoff back to the 1 so I could get a 99-yard run with Thomas, or yeah, and just have so much fun just blowing out the computer, because back then there was no online gaming. There was none of that stuff. So it's amazing how the game has evolved. You know, Madden 25 is coming out with a new title, and you know, we complain, and I do this myself. We complain and we nitpick about the game, but it's amazing how far it's come from, you know, an ambulance that is knocking people over, and here I win the game. Pretty simple vanilla win here. An ambulance that's knocking people over to, you know, us complaining about glitches and stuff. Let's you guys that are a little younger, you didn't have to put up with that, but hopefully this new version of Madden will be great and as epic as that for, you know, young people today, you know, people that still remember video games, you know, to this day. So thank you for watching my video. Post in the comments what you think, your first Madden experience, and subscribe. 5 points, I'm out.